In 1968, anti-war Democrats were looking for a candidate to oppose President Johnson, who they were certain was going to run for re-election. And they wanted Bobby Kennedy, the late president's brother, but he declined to do it. So Gene McCarthy ran. It came to the New Hampshire primary. Well, Lyndon Johnson's people won in New Hampshire, but Gene McCarthy got 36% of the vote against a sitting president of his own party. And it was awe-inspiring. The next morning, the New York desk called and said, you wanted us to track down Senator Kennedy. He's taking the 7:30 plane, American plane to Washington or something. So I went out to National Airport with a film crew. Now today, if there was a big news story of the possibility of one breaking, how many crews do you think we'd have? 18, 20? I mean, you know, all live? I'm the only guy there, only film crew there. And Bobby Kennedy gets off the plane, and a senator, I know you said you were not going to run this year, but in light of what happened yesterday in New Hampshire, are you going to reconsider your decision? He said, yes, I'm seriously reconsidering my decision as to whether to be a candidate for the presidency of the United States this year. Wow! I called it right in. I said, Bobby made it clear he's going now that Lyndon Johnson has showed his vulnerability. Well, that's interesting, they all said. Here, bring the film in. I said, should I do a radio? No, just bring the film in. Okay, brought the film in. I said, well, should we do something about this? Should we interrupt the network? Oh, no. New York wants us to get a transcript of what the interview was. Because we got the transcript. I mean, time is passing. To make this long story short, at about 12:30, Kennedy had been in his office at the Hill. He came out, and 18 reporters were there, and he told them the same thing he told me. We had never gotten on the air with that story. Second story, October 20th, 1973. I attended the news conference held by the special prosecutor, Archibald Cox, and asked him a question. I mean, Mr. Cox, it's in the transcript, if the president won't voluntarily turn over the tapes that you want, would you go to court? He said, yes, if the president will not do this voluntarily, I have no choice but to go to court and ask for subpoenas for the tapes. Well, we knew the fat was in the fire then. I went over to the Justice Department, spent the afternoon. I didn't know what was going on. We now know that Elliot Richardson, the Attorney General, had gone on to the White House, said, Mr. President, I promised the Senate I will not fire Archibald Cox except for cause. Therefore, I have to resign. And late in the day, about 5:30, I was in the courtyard. You say, what do you mean you were in the courtyard? Weren't you forbidden? No, in those days, except for the inner bowels of the Pentagon, or of course the White House, we traveled up and down the halls of the Justice Department, in the courtyard, wherever you wanted to go with a film crew. Out came William Ruckelshaus, who was the Deputy Attorney General. And I said, what's going on? I said, there's a rumor that the Attorney General has resigned. Might he have resigned? I didn't have sense to ask whether Ruckelshaus had also resigned, which he had. He said, yes, he might have resigned. You're exactly right. Well, I called that right in. And one of the executives of ABC News was about 7 o'clock at night, or I said 5:30, somewhere in there, said, terrific, you'll be the lead of our 11 o'clock news. Well, by 8:30, the White House had announced that the Attorney General of the United States had resigned, that the Deputy Attorney General had resigned, but that the Solicitor General, Robert Bork, had fired Archibald Cox. And it was known as the Saturday Night Massacre. And my exclusive was still waiting to lead the 11 o'clock news. Well, the kind of inertia that we had at our news department in those days was just kind of endemic. It was just, we should have been, thank goodness, in charge of Katrina or something. It would have been still the same disaster. I loved our leaders. I mean, they were wonderful people. I think they were struggling against inadequate budget. I mean, I don't know, but it was. Because let's face it, it was really until Roone Arledge, the great boy wonder of ABC Sports, came and took hold of ABC News before we broke out to be the news department that we have been, I think, ever since and are still today. But I was very lucky because even before Roone came, another little piece of luck. I think I was pretty well regarded by ABC and by the management. I think they liked me. I think they liked my work. But I don't think I was anything terribly special.